Hello everyone. This is Cookie. Cookie wanted to say hi because today is International World Cat Day, Cat Appreciation Day, apparently. So hi, say hi Cookie. All right, Cookie, you can go. Today, I'm going to show you I've been rising some homemade pizza crust, pizza dough, for the past 24 hours. And I know I made a pizza video previously, but honestly, I was disappointed in the crust for twofold reasons. One, like I mentioned, I didn't have the active yeast packages. They didn't have it at the supermarket. So I got just like a all-in, full pizza crust pack, which included all the ingredients, including the yeast. But I wasn't pleased with that recipe. And frankly, being my first time since middle school making a homemade pizza dough, I messed it up. And one of the main reasons I messed it up was I kind of flattened that pizza dough on the pizza stone, causing kind of a thick, not light, crisp final baked crust. So did some more research on on the homemade pizza doughs, and so I'm ready to go for this round. Okay, so to help me enjoy this session with you, I've opened up a bottle of Cabernet, the Storyteller Cabernet from Sonoma County. It's pretty nice, reasonably priced. And of course I've got it in my classic refined Dave & Buster's plexiglass plastic tumbler for optimal enjoyment. All right, let me get a little bit more of this. Cheers. Okay, so what you see here, I have sectioned out this pizza dough. I looked at a few recipes. The one I settled on was a Bobby Flay recipe, and it called for 3.5 to 4 cups of bread dough. So the bread dough, the bread flour. The one I got looks like this, and it was organic, so it was a little bit more pricey, a few dollars more. These are the active yeast packs. When I saw them, they came in a 3-pack. So I used one of those, and I used 3.5 cups of the bread flour. Used, I believe it was probably a tablespoon of salt. And the one that Bobby Flay had also called for a small, I believe it was a teaspoon of sugar. I don't think you need sugar if you're planning to let these rise overnight or a day or even more, because as that yeast starts to, it starts to react and eat the flour, it'll start to create sugars. That's what's going to give the complex flavors that we all love in homemade pizza crust. But regardless, I added some of the sugar per Bobby Flay's recipe. All right, so what you see here is I've already flattened, kind of like stretched out one of the rounds. So for this one, I'm going to quickly prep one of the pizzas, and then I'm going to come back and show you the technique for stretching out these pizza dough rounds, and make the other pizza, show you the other pizza as well. So today, backed by popular demand, one of the pizzas I'm making, again, is the Budae Jjigae pizza, the Korean army stew pizza. I failed to mention in my last video that I invented this Budae Jjigae pizza. I challenge anyone that views this to prove me wrong, but I am the creator of the Budae Jjigae pizza. All right, so Budae Jjigae pizza, I have I have here some marinara sauce. It's actually, again, it's the Rayo's. I've got Rayo's that I'm using, but it can be any tomato sauce. You could go and make entirely homemade pizza sauce, marinara sauce with fresh tomatoes. But I'm using the Rayo's today, and it's Adiabata, so it's a little bit spicy. And here I've added the spice pack from, again, Shinramen, popular Korean ramen. And I've added the dried vegetables. I'm just mixing that together with the marinara adiabata sauce. All right, so this will give you a little bit of the Korean army stew flavor with the ramen spice pack incorporated into that. All right, so on my stretched out pizza dough, I'm adding in the sauce. All right. All right, I'm really looking forward to this pizza dough coming out nicely. And I'll be sad and disappointed if it is not. I think Cookie the cat gave us some good karma being World Cat Day, so. All right, so that should be good. All right. I've cooked some of the ramen from the Shinramen pack al dente. So I'm going to take some of that and just add it carb upon carb. All right. Now, frankly, you're not going to get a lot of extra flavor from this in the pizza, this budae-jjigae pizza, but ramen is essential to a budae-jjigae stew. And my kids really get into having this ramen in their pizza. So I think there's a strong kind of gimmicky value to that. Okay. All right. So what I have here is the Spam. Got some small mini hot dog sausages and the kimchi. I cut these up. I cut these up separately, and then I sauteed them on the fry pan all together. So I've got a nice mixture here that's ready to go onto this pizza. All right, this is a hearty portion here on this fairly modest sized pizza dough. I have some scallions here. Last time I didn't put scallions, but yesterday we got some takeout. We got some delicious Vietnamese pho. And, you know, it's all COVID society. We never got takeout pho before. We used to always go to the restaurant and eat the pho at the restaurant, you know, being much more delicious when it's freshly served. But being COVID, we generally get takeout now and then, and so we got some takeout pho. And so we had leftover of the vegetables, including scallions, and I also have some basil here, which is going onto my other pizza that I'm showing you today. And some of these onions here are leftovers from that package, from the pho as well. So I always like to, you know, economize, and if I have leftovers, I always think about what I can use those ingredients for in the future in recipes, and so I'm doing that here. So these scallions are going onto this budae-jjigae pizza. Let's put some of these onions on as well. Okay, and I got some chopped mushrooms, or sliced mushrooms. All right, and some pizza blend, mozzarella cheese. So it's mozzarella, provolone, parmesan, romano. All right, we'll spread that on. All right. Now, last time I made this on that prior video, told you about getting a raw egg and cooking it on top and getting it lightly cooked with the yolky goodness coming out when you slice it. And I had a challenge of keeping that yolk in the center because it, you know, being kind of slip and slidey, tends to want to fall off. I found the solution, which is to just dig a little trench hole in the center of the pizza, like that. So let's put our raw egg right in that trench. Look at that. It's just sitting pretty in the trench. Okay, so you heard the pizza oven, or the oven is ready to go. I preheated it to 500, and the stone has been warming up in there. So I'm going to reduce the heat to 425. Okay, so that stone should be nice and warm, and I'm going to put this prepped Buddha Jjigae pizza into the oven. On the pizza stone with my new pizza crust, homemade pizza crust. All right. That was feeling a little precarious there for a second, but I got it done. Okay. All right, so let's go back. I'm going to show you how to stretch out these risen pizza dough rounds. So here I have a large surface, and I'm going to just spread out some more flour to make things non-sticky. Take one of these rounds, put it there, let's put some more flour on my hands here. Okay, so with my floured hands, take the pads of your fingers, and this is straight from a YouTube video, this technique. So if you've seen it, then this might sound familiar. So I'm taking the pads of my fingers and pushing from the center, and there's gases that have formed in this nice risen expanded dough. All right, so I'm pushing those gases towards the edges, trying to roughly make a round surface or a circular surface. All right, add some more flour to my hands. Okay, so now I have a nice kind of stretched out, rounded, palm of my hand fits in the middle size-wise of this. So from here, I'm going to take, right hand is palmed in the center, left hand, take the pads of fingers, put it underneath, and just start working and stretching from the edge. Right, but don't pull too much. You don't want to rip a hole. All right, so then I'm going to flip that over and rotate it, and just do the same, and just keep doing that while you're gently working this, always gently. All right, and I'm certainly not skilled enough to be tossing this pizza dough into the air. Okay. All right. All right, so let's get our tray here. I'm going to transfer this stretched out dough. And the second pizza I'm showing you today is a traditional American pizza. So what I have here is, again, it's the Ardiabata sauce. This one does not have the Korean spice pack in it. So I'm going to put some of that onto this stretched out pizza dough, risen pizza dough. And Ardiabata, I mentioned, has a little bit of a kick to it. It's a little bit spicy, but not too bad. Okay. And so the way I organize my toppings here, my station, I've got my Buddha Jjigae items on the right side, and common shared ingredients in the middle. I've got the mushrooms and onions. So I'm going to put some mushrooms and onions on this. Okay, some onions. Okay. Now, got some mild Italian sausage from the supermarket. I parboiled those, meaning in a fry pan, I filled it up with some water, like a little trench of water, you know, like a centimeter, and put it on medium heat and just let those saute with kind of a lid on top of them, so that steam just kind of cooks all around the sausage. So that went on for about 10-15 minutes. At a certain point, I took one of the sausages and just sliced it in half and just to check if it was fully cooked. And once I did that, I sliced them up into just these rounds. The other technique with sausage, of course, as you probably are familiar with, is you can get the ones that are not in the casings. You know, it's just the kind of the ground sausage, Italian sausage, and kind of like form those into little balls to add to your pizza. So this is going to have a lot of sausage on it because we have a wealth of sausage today. Here I have some nice Applewood thick cut smoked bacon that I fried up already and sliced into nice chunks. So I'm going to add some of this bacon. Again, there's plenty of bacon to go around on this. Okay, so for veggies, we've got the mushrooms and onions. I've also got some pickled pepperoncinis and kind of tame pickled jalapeno peppers. So let's put those on there as well. All right, this is going to be yummy. I have a feeling it's going to be yummy, and the crust is going to be nice and light and chewy. Okay, those are our toppings, so let's add some cheese. All right, mozzarella, provolone, Parmesan Romano blend. This is looking pretty nice. Okay. All right, so let me check on, if you can see in there, it's starting to, the crust has expanded some, and it's probably about halfway through. Okay, so let me do some more of these. Let me expand, stretch out these other breads here, or the dough. Okay. So you might notice I'm wearing this vintage Detroit Tigers Tiger Stadium t-shirt. This t-shirt's from 1999, and I'm taking a fairly big risk wearing this t-shirt because it's fairly threadbare. I think if I sneezed, it would probably rip. But I wanted to kind of wear something to tell a story. You know, I thought it was fitting to wear a t-shirt from Detroit, Michigan, because everyone knows Detroit is where pizza was invented. Of course, that's a lie. Pizza was invented somewhere in Italy and then further developed in New York City, of course, which kind of brings me to the whole debate about pizza. There's the kind of like the wood fire thin crust pizza from New York. There's the deep dish Chicago pie pizza, right? And then there's some other variants within the country. Actually, in Michigan and in Detroit, they're known for kind of like a square pan pizza. So I've tried them all, and I do not have a favorite. I love them all as long as they're delicious. I love the thin crust New York style pizza just because the crust is nice and light, airy, and chewy. It's just very simple. Chicago pies are awesome just because there's like so much delicious flavor and toppings in there. I grew up in Michigan. Probably our go-to pizza was Little Caesars Pizza, which is actually founded by Mike Ilitch, the late Mike Ilitch, who you might know as the former owner of the Detroit West Red Wings hockey team. Also, here's a little factoid. Domino's Pizza, which is from Michigan, started out. There's a little bar, pizzeria bar in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, where the University of Michigan is, called Dominic's, and that was the original Domino's Pizza. But Monahan obviously became successful and franchised, and Domino's is now all over the world. I recall Domino's being much more delicious back then, but maybe I was definitely young, but I've gotten that occasionally now, and I think it's still solid, but it's different. It's not like independent. Anyways, another pizza story. While I check on this pizza, my son. I went on a cruise with my family to Alaska recently, and my son and I were sleeping in the same cabin on the cruise ship, pretty small cabins. And I woke up in the middle of the night to my son screaming and crying, and apparently he had a nightmare. And I said, "What was your nightmare about?" And he said, "The Pizza Man." And I was like, "Who's the Pizza Man?" Turned out the Pizza Man was. If you're familiar with Chuck E. Cheese's, which I believe has filed for bankruptcy protection because of COVID. Obviously, no one's going to Chuck E. Cheese's during COVID, unfortunately. Well, it's unfortunate that there's COVID. Anyways, if you've ever been to a Chuck E. Cheese pizza party, they have a restaurant there, with pizzas and tables for the kids. And there's a stage, and on the stage there's this huge kind of robot characters. One is Chuck E. Cheese, another is some other animal, and then there's this man. It's a man kind of with a pizza hat and like a big Mario type mustache, and apparently he's the pizza man. And my son had this nightmare, and he dreamt about this animated robot pizza man chasing after him. I think there's actually a video game called Five Nights at Freddy or something like that, where there's kind of like creepy video characters like that. So apparently he had this nightmare with Pizza Man, so I felt very sad for him, and I thought that was very cute. Anyways, okay, so I stretched out this one. Alright, this pizza looks good. So let me pull it for you. All right. So I'm going to use a spatula and put this guy in there. Okay. All right. So, hopefully you can see this pizza. It has some nice gooey egg yolk in the center. And this crust I am definitely more pleased with than my last one. Let me try this. Light, airy, delicate. God, it's very hot. So that crust definitely benefited from sitting and expanding, for 24 hours. I did a combination of outside at room temperature and also in the fridge. But that yeast had a party with that bread flour, and I am reaping the benefits now because that crust is amazing. And I'm looking forward to eating the traditional pie, but I won't torture you and make you wait for that one. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and cheers. Have a happy World Cat Day, Cat Appreciation Day.